another episode of The Spotlight here on Afro TV and radio. My name is Issa, and I'll be your host. And today we're joined by George Joseph, who's a political activist and advocate. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
George, how long have you been in this political space?
Well, not that long. I just started because I feel this is the time, for youths to come out and do something. I just feel it's the right time.
I mean, a lot of us know about, Nigerian politics, African politics. We were there for a lot of the riots that took place. We've been here with COVID. There's just a lot of unrest, I would say, with Nigeria. So you being young, you being, full of energy, what got you started down this path? Why are you here?
Well, it's just that growing anger, when you look at the things that are happening in Nigeria, you kind of ask yourself what can be done, in terms of saving the country, the decadence, the moral decadence, and the things that are wrong in the country. You ask yourself as an individual, do you have the capacity to run the country and make it a better place? And you ask yourself, the people that have been running the country, are they doing a good job?
Right.
And how long have they been running the country? And when did they start running the country? Because you look, back in history and you see that these people have been in power for 30, 40 years.
Right. The same people. Running the same country.
So if somebody like Obasanjo or, Atiku have been vying for power at the age of 20, 30, then you ask yourself, at this age, why can't you do that?
Right.
What stops you from vying for power or trying to change things? Not the way they change things, because, they just go and sit down and not do anything. But you want to do something. You want to make a positive impact.
A difference. I
Yeah.
like this because, in our generation, I think it's so important for us to be involved and not just, wait till we're 40, 50. We have a ton of money, and then we're like, what else can we do when we go into politics? I think starting young and starting early is so important. And we saw that with the NSAS movement. We've seen that with a lot of different riots, actually, that's been going on in Nigeria, where youth primarily have been the ones saying, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We need a new direction, new leadership, and we can actually lead ourselves.
Yeah.
So when we think of Nigerian politics, where do you think youth primarily can slip in? Where can we start now?
Well, you said everything with the NSAS movement. You could see a lot of youths getting angry and wanting to do something positive. And although they were shut down, but that kind of brought a realization that the youths are majority. And when it comes to politics, we see that when they want to campaign or do anything, the first people that they count on is the youths.
Right.
They take,
because they're high in numbers.
Exactly. And they are the workforce or like the brain behind everything. So if you look at the campaigns that are coming up now for 2023 elections, it's the same thing. They're going to the youths, they're giving them money, they're empowering them, they're doing all kinds of things to make the youths. But the youths now have to realize that, look, this power is not actually in the hands of these older folks.
Right.
It's in our hands.
It's on ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
So my job, or why I started all this, is to activate the youths, to make them that, look, you're not too young to run.
Gotcha.
And you can achieve anything that you dream to achieve.
Gotcha.
If you don't try, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So that's why I'm here today.
And if you can't try, you don't fail.
Yeah.
Like, you can fail, you can be successful, but you need to try to begin with.
Exactly.
So speaking of trying, what's your background? What got you into this? You're here in America. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. I've been doing this for like 10 years.
Doing what?
Like trying to get into actively helping Nigerians, not really politics. Because politics in Nigeria, everybody knows, is a dirty game. And if you want to change things, you need to come with a different approach and a different system. So I sat down and asked myself, if I was going to go into the Nigerian hemisphere to try to change things, what should I do? I came up with an organization which is called Soul Minds. And what we do is we help the less privileged, because the disparity between the rich and the poor is too much. In fact, at this point, we don't even have the middle class no more.
Right.
So, like, when you go into communities, like, I was talking to friends about, let's go and help people, let's do this, let's do that. The very first project, I shed tears, literally, because I saw poverty in its raw state. I had never had to beg or never had to struggle for food or anything because my parents are well-to-do, when I knew them and everything. But I saw firsthand that people are really, really, really poor.
Right.
And no one is doing anything whatsoever to help them.
And you saw that in America, you saw that in Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to a village just outside Abuja. That was like 10 years ago. And we took some clips and some videos, and I went back. I couldn't eat for 3 days because I'd never seen people so poor. So that gave me more, drive to help people.
So you left America, went to Nigeria to help out, basically. And this is when you now saw the poverty that had basically, stricken your people.
Actually, then I was in the UK.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I went there to do my master's. And from there I went to work in London. And I was just talking to friends. I was like, look, we need to do something.
Yeah, so we go back home.
Yeah. So we started the organization in London. Then I always had the dream of coming to America to register it in America too and get it started and everything.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just trying to push the agenda of helping the country grow. Because disparity between America and Nigeria is just too much.
It's huge.
It's too much, and we have so much resources. We have everything that it takes to put us in the world as the first class country.
Right.
But the major problem that we've had over the past 20, 30 years is bad leadership.
Right.
And that has to change. That's my own take on it.
And tell us a little bit about, so you're Nigerian. Yeah. Where are you from? What tribe are you? Because I know a lot of us are wondering.
Yeah, I'm Rivers.
Oh, you're Rivers.
Yeah, I'm Rivers, South. Okay,
and have you lived in Nigeria for a long time? Or is your... Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I've lived in Nigeria. I have businesses in Nigeria.
Okay.
I have people working for me as we speak right now in Nigeria. And I know the territory. I've been there. I've, interacted with people. I've seen things for myself. So I feel based on my experience in being in Nigeria and coming over here and seeing things over here, it just makes me like, I'm sitting on one foot because I'm like, okay,
it doesn't sit well that you're here.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I have to commend you because I feel like a lot of people, we leave... Because I'm Nigerian too, but we leave Nigeria, we come to America, our parents come to America, come to England, and we just stay here. Very few go back and take the wealth and the knowledge and the education to benefit those who are still in Nigeria. So I think that it's really, really important. So before we cut to break though, tell us how anyone who's listening can donate, can get involved in your nonprofit. What can they do right now before we cut to break that can help you in your organization?
Okay, you can go to, we try to make it as simple as possible. You can go to facebook.com/soulminds. You could catch us on Cash App, $soulminds. Then Zelle is the same thing, the Soulminds. And, you can just reach out to us via email, soulminds@gmail.com, and make a donation.
Yeah. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about their projects, what things that they're working on right now, and what do we have to look forward to in the future. So we'll be right back. This is the Spotlight here on Afro Vibes TV and Radio. My name is Issa, and this is George Joseph. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Spotlight here on Afro Vibes TV and Radio. My name is Issa, and we're joined by political activist George Joseph. How are you enjoying the show so far?
It's been great.
No, I'm so excited to talk about youth and politics, especially as, coming from America into Nigeria. So before the break, you gave us some information about how people can contact you and donate, but tell us, what are some active projects that you and your team are working in your organization?
Beautiful. I'm glad you asked, because a few years back, when we started, we were doing it quarterly, going to help the poor. Basically, when we go into communities, we ask them, okay, what's your basic need? We've done health projects, we've done, digging boreholes and water projects. We've done so much for different communities. But in the past 4 years, we saw a trend, coming up, which is basic food, just food items, because, the cost of raw materials right now is going high by the day. And one of the things, the campaigns we launched is we do outreaches monthly. So we currently have one project this month, which is, at this last Saturday of every month, we go to different communities. And it's not only, one state, we go to the whole 36 states where we have active members. So in January, if we have 16 active members in the state, we go, because most of them have different things doing.
Right.
But we try to make it as much as possible in different states.
So when if someone gives money today, it goes to the 36 states in some capacity. And then people on the ground are in touch with community leaders and stuff, and they try and see what is the need at that time.
Exactly.
So just give us one example for someone who's like, oh, I'm very interested in giving. Just talk about maybe one project that you've done so far, a success story that you can talk about.
Okay, like I said, in the past 4 years, we've seen a growing trend of food items. So that's what we do. We package food items. So if someone comes and sends us money and say, okay, look, want you to go to this community. Sometimes you could be specific. You say, okay, I want you to go to my village. We could actually go to your village, and we always come back with pictures and videos, because we want to be transparent. We don't want you to put your money into something that is not visible, because I do meet people a lot and they say, oh, I support this charity and that charity and this charity.
But what is that charity doing?
They don't see anything that they do with it. So my goal is, as you're putting in your money, you're seeing what we are doing with the money. And if you want to go to these communities, you will see that we're actually doing the work.
Right.
We even went on radio and TV at some point in one community, and people were talking about it. But we don't want to take the fame. We don't want to put ourselves big, because Africans have this kind of thing that when you're doing something right, you want to. And
that's you're right. The goal for you, and I love that, is the transparency, and then also not only the visibility, but you actually making a difference.
Yeah.
So it's not about wearing a big coat and throwing a party and saying this is what we, because it's funny, every time I see a charity organization throw a party. Trying to get donations, I'm always like, you could have used the money from the party
exactly
to donate. But I understand there are some reasons and everything, so I'm not taking anything away from that. But I like the fact that you are very much we've gotten $100. This is where it's going, and these are some pictures and videos to prove it. Right? I think that's really important. But so you do food, you do water supply as well. Do you do clothes? Like, what else do you do? And also, do you work with like churches and other community centers as well?
Churches have been one of the massive supports
system
imagine that we've ever had.
We're very religious in Nigeria.
So when I go to churches, they love the idea, but the question they always ask is, they want to do it too, but they don't have credible people on the ground. So they always say, oh no, Nigeria is corrupt, the people are corrupt. But I said, I've been working with the people that I work with, and most of them are, in different states. They never cheated me. I could give you a testimony of one girl. I'll call her name Amaka. She was living in where I think is Adamawa State. No, I think it's in the south, Enugu. So she was in Enugu, and they were supposed to do a project in one community, and she relocated to Lagos. So we already sent her the money, which we call package. We already sent her a package, so she couldn't do the project, and she returned back the money. So I'm like,
that's another thing that I hope you guys are doing testimonials too, because there's typically a negative stereotype with Nigerians, and we all know what we're talking about. And I think that, when we're talking about these kinds of projects and these kinds of efforts, I think it's so important also to let people see this as well. Everyone sees what's on the news. This person's a fraudster, this person's this person's, making their money in different ways. But when we have these kinds of testimonies too, I feel like it's so important to show who we are, because we are not just one type of people. And, organizations like yourself are so important. That's why I like you coming onto Afro Vibes, to really show like, hey, we are a people that cares for our people. And we may be part of the diaspora, but we're going to go back to our motherland and say, hey, we can't just idly sit back and let our people suffer at the hands of these leaders. And so circling back to, youth leadership and politics, if someone is, listening to this show right now, and, they're youth, they're young adult, and they're really interested in politics, and they're in America, or they're in England, or they're outside of Nigeria, or even if they are in Nigeria, what are some tools, some tips you can give them, some helpful things that you can say, hey, do these things so that can help you to become successful and to be a future leader for our country?
Okay, the first thing I'll say is become affiliated with something that works. Because in Nigeria, a lot of things don't work. And if you go the wrong way, they'll kill your dream. A lot of people are trying to leave Nigeria right now because a lot of things are not working. That's why we came up with a system that works, and it's tried and it's proven that it's working.
Right.
So some people call and like, okay, let me just give it a try, and they see that it's working and they just get stuck to it. And there are not many credible organizations like that, that I definitely or I deliberately didn't want to register it in Nigeria because I didn't want the influence. Let me tell you something. My dad was in government too. He went through, the circles, and some people are asking me, oh, why don't you start with, youth council chairman or, a lower position? I've been there. I've seen my dad struggle from, level 1 to one of the highest positions in government, as a permanent secretary. And he was representing the governor at the time in different functions and everything. So, but something came up in his, ministry, and one of the people, in government was like, look, don't do that project. Make sure you use the money and share it around. At the end of the day, my dad had to make a decision, either to use the money for the project or share it for the people that he said he should share it. And guess what happened? My dad didn't do it. He didn't do it, and he got fired. And that's how my dad left office.
So with all the political pressure from his higher-ups to disseminate the money around, he still chose to use the money for what it was supposed to be used for that project for the community, and then they fired him.
Yeah. And that's how my dad left office. So I won't encourage anyone going into politics the way it is right now in Nigeria. I would say build your own system, build your own team. It has taken me 10 years to get to this position that I am now before I said, okay, I want to come out. And the reason why I'm coming out right now is because I feel people now understand that, like, the people in government are wasting...
taxpayers' money.
Yeah, they're just wasting our money. They're just making empty promises, and they're not fulfilling the promises. We had political candidates like Soere and the likes of them, that came up the last time, and they didn't give them audience because they believe so much in Buhari. But the Buhari deliver 8 years, nothing. So I feel this is the right time for you to come together and say, look, we must put our foot down in diaspora and at home and make something work. If not at the level of presidency or governorship, but actually helping the people, because the people actually need... We could raise a lot of resources to help our people, and if we are not doing that now, I don't know when is going to be the time, because things are going really, really bad, and we need to do something about it.
And speaking of that, for those who are listening to the podcast who are, suffering, who are in Nigeria, who are listening to this on radio or on TV, what are some words of encouragement you can give them? I know your people are on ground too, but for those who haven't met them, for those who are, on different parts in the country, what are some words of encouragement you can give them?
I'll say don't give up. No matter the struggle, no matter your hustle, don't give up. There's always help. And, with time, everything is going to get better. Some people have given up hope in Nigeria. Some people are planning to travel out. But my duty is to activate different campaigns like this. If different people that have the money, like Obi Kabana was talking about, why don't we come together? The other time, and I was like, this is what I'm talking about. If Davido can come up and say, look, I'm setting up a campaign to help the poor. If the band or Don Jazzy or anybody, everybody's doing something to help the country. But what I see youth do is complain. We talk about the wrongs, we talk about, what's going wrong. And I'll point to you, one thing that made me really angry about this whole thing is I went to cut my hair one day, and this guy walked into the salon, and we got talking. I don't know what prompted the discussion, but he asked me, where are you from? And I was like, I'm Nigerian. He was like, oh, so you know the internet? I was like, what do you mean by that? So you know how to use the internet. And what he was invariably saying that the average Nigerian should be a Yahoo boy.
Right, a fraudster.
And that should change.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you for doing this, because as I said, it's so important to change the narrative, right? We want to make sure that we are known for what we are, which are successful, passionate people that achieve great things. And we need to also take our achievements and go back to sow seeds as well on our motherland. And I think that's so important for us to do.
Just imagine if 1,000, 1 million of us are helping the country.
Right.
We won't have anything to talk about the leaders anymore.
Right.
We are building a road. Someone told me the other day that a community or an organization built a road. It's just to put together resources.
Yeah.
And things don't cost that much like people think, because if I tell you how much I give in packages to my, my downlinks or the people that work for the organization, you'll be surprised. But it goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the station. And I think, let's end with saying again where people can contact for donations, for more information. Let us know again on Facebook, on Instagram, Cash App, all the places that you can get donations and people can find out more about you.
Okay. For my campaign, you could just go to Facebook and type George Joseph campaign, and it will come up. For my organization is Soul Minds. You could go to YouTube and type Soul Minds, it'll pop up. And you could also do Cash App, Cash App, $Soul Minds. You'll see it right there. And I think Zelle too. You could just type Soul Minds and it'll come up. So
Perfect.
That's where you can find me.
Well, thank you so much, George, for coming on. I appreciate you, and I hope that we as a community continue down this road of helping and enlightening and really just giving back to our community.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, and thank you guys for tuning in again. My name is Issa. This has been the Spotlight here on Afro Vibes TV, and our amazing guest. I just thank you so much, George Joseph. Thank you for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you.
Well, until next time, see you later.